welcome to another episode of Vision Angling. So today I've brought myself down to Chesil Beach. Main target today for myself is some ray. I say I've not brought any worm bait, I've just literally brought down my frozen. So hopefully it will play ball. It's a little bit rougher than I would have liked, to be honest. Very, very light onshore wind, but there's still quite a little surf rolling in, but it's not looking too dirty out in front of us, so you know, fingers crossed it's not gonna cause too much of a problem. But yeah, main baits for myself will be squid and sandhill wraps, squid and bluey. I have brought down some mackerel. We'll just wait and see. Got a bite on one of the rods already. I just literally just put them out now, first cast. But problem is, I've got a one of my reels I've got set up. I've got the Daiwa BG, the mag sealed, and it's running 60-pound braid. So as you all know from using braid, you get a little pout on it. You do rods like this. Okay? So, but the big thing is down here, you do get big conger reels down this end. So I mean, if you've got a pout on there and you haven't quite got another bait ready, like I'm just about to set up another bait now, but if you have got a pout on there, don't feel like you've got to get it in quick, just leave it alone. Like I say, because you have got a chance of pulling out a 40-pound conger reel. We've had plenty of small hides over the years that have taken a whole pout. I was fishing with a chap once down the far end, down Cogden. Caught a little pout, probably about 15 centimetres, he chucked it on, about 60 yards out max. And he pulled in I think it was 10.5 pound small hide ray, so they will take them. But yeah, like I say, hopefully we can get into a few fish. We went up the channel last week and George had a lovely thornback ray. Definitely looked bigger than it weighed. I mean, I think it only went 8.7 £, something like that, but it was a really fat fish. But I didn't have my scales and neither did George, so we had to borrow some lad's scales up there, and yeah, it was a nice fish. It was a nice trip. The weed was terrible. Like I say, myself, I didn't have anything until we went to our second mark and fished high water, and I lost the codling right on the edge. Cast immediately after I pulled the codling in, and then it just went quiet. None of us caught after that at all. So yeah, like I say, I might insert the clips in after this one, but like I say, there wasn't a great deal, to be honest, and my SD card failed on half of the clips, so I think I might have a little bit left of George's ray, and hopefully my codling, but I'll have to check when I'm back home and the SD card's out. But yeah, I'm down here today with my brother Chad and my dad. I think my mate Andy's coming down to meet us in a little bit. They've brought down worm bait tonight, so they're edging their bets for a codling, I think, so we'll have to wait and see. Fingers crossed we can get into some fish, and we'll get back to you shortly. Cheers.
Today, as promised, we brought to you a Bristol Channel fishing video. Myself and Ben come up, had the day off, so we've started off here at Lady Bay Ledges, fishing for cod. We'll fish here for low tide, fish it back a couple of hours, and then later on today we might make our way up to Severn Beach and fish the high up there into the evening. So we're fishing for cod today. Fair size tide, you know, we picked a nice day considering the week we've just had. The weather's been absolutely terrible. Yeah, so we're down here. I've just had my first cast, straight blow lug on a small up and over rig, probably about 12 inches long, on a size 1/0 hook, and I managed to pull out a nice thornback ray. This one's coming at £8.7 on the scales. Nice pull round on the rod. I was actually stood down here with Ben when it happened, and I seen the rod tip pull over, so I ran over, seen it pull again a couple of times, and I lifted into it, and I thought it was an eel to start off with, because it wasn't fighting like a cod, so I was anticipating an eel sliding up the beach. But yeah, I managed to pull out this one. Lovely fish. So we'll get a few stills of this one, and then we'll get a slid back. Cheers.
Right, so as George said earlier on, we've made a change now. We've come down to Severn Beach. We're just fishing off the boulders by the slipway there. No, we were hoping to sort of get where the slipway is, but there's a couple of locals down here already. So we come down, we were a little bit early, the tide was still out, so we clambered down the boulders. And we're just fishing down on the bottom of the rocks at the moment. Just had second cast now. First cast I lost a lovely fish. Second cast, little pull down, the weed's absolutely terrible at the minute. And nice little Bristol Channel codling. Like I say, not a massive fish, maybe pushing a couple of pounds, but hopefully as the tide comes up we can get into a few more. There's a lot of weed in the water at the moment, which is causing a bit of a problem, so hopefully as we come up towards slack tide we should fish a lot better and we can get into a few more. Cheers. Right, I just thought I'd quickly show you one of my rigs on in there. So I've got £80 main line there, and that's running down on an up and over rig. And say running onto a 5-ounce grip lead. If the wind picks up any more I'll go on to a 6, but it's not really necessary at the minute. I say the rig body got about 3 foot, and that's leading straight on to 60-pound amnesia. Stud length on this one's just over 5.5 foot, and again that's running down onto a sakuma Manta Extra and a 4-0 top and bottom hook. So this one here, I've just put some silicone tubing over the top there just to hold that hook in place. So rather than it being too easy to slide, it's quite good with that size tubing. I think that one's the 1mm tube. It's a bit of a pain getting over the eye of the hook on a 4-0s, but once it's on there, I say it does hold quite tight. It saves you wrapping it all around the snood length and all of that lot. I say that's on there pretty solid. So for this bait, I'm going to use a bit of bluey and a nice fat little sand eel. All I've done with these is made sure that I've cut them about the same length there. Make sure your head and tail is out. Oh, it's not essential, but tails I would always recommend to cut the tails off, so if they're hanging out the bait starts spinning in the air and it's a nightmare. So I put mine in there, bring it out just shy of the head there. What I'm going to do with this is just quickly whip that on there a second, then get your bluey. Lay my bluey underneath. And again, I like to whip on an angle there over the hook. And then we'll go up the bait. Make sure your hook's nice and proud. Just give that a little squeeze on the end there. As you can see, that will sit nice. Hook's very proud of the bait. And again, as with the top pennel hook, I say you don't need to wrap it around with this one because the silicone tubing is quite tight. Go in, we'll bring it through. Give that a good pull up. And there's my bait. I say nothing massive. You don't need huge baits down here. I say half the time it's trying to get the distance on this beach rather than the scent and everything out there. So we'll get that one whacked out. Fingers crossed we can get into a few fish. Right, so one of the rods I'm fishing with today with Century Eliminator T900s. Achios Torno 656, 5-ounce lead. I say unfortunately the shingle behind us there is quite close. You've got to go for quite a short drop, but we'll get this one out. Nice sanding with squid bait. Quite big. We'll get it out there and we'll see if we can get into anything. So we've done it. Target species acquired. And so come down here tonight to catch myself a blonde. Finally managed to get one. Lovely little fish. It is only small by the standard you get down here on Chesil Beach. Went 8 pounds, 7 ounces, so nothing special. But lovely little bite you give me. I'm gonna have to go. That's another one. This is a much better fish, guys. It's got my T900 folded in two. Whatever's on the end of here is fucking big. It's very, very big. It was just taking line off me, I couldn't stop it. Now I've got it snagged. So I'm going to rely on my hook hole being quite good. I'm going to put it in the tripod now and just see if it will take some line and see if I can get it to swim out. And hopefully we can get this fish in. Right, like I say, I've taken the drag right off of that rod. Just going to leave it and let it try and run out again. But while that one's sat out there, I'm still fishing the other rod. Just pulled in a little strap. But yeah, like I say, I'm going to chuck another bait out on that rod now, and hopefully we can connect into whatever is on that other rod. Cheers. Oh, I'm absolutely devastated. I've left it and left it and left it. It's been out there for about 15 minutes. Completely took my drag off. Everything was out. Just took off again. Pulled into it and I finally managed to get it in. As you can tell, I'm a bit out of breath. The one time I didn't put my gaff down by the water's edge. So I quickly give it a little bit of line, got my gaff, and as I ran back down, straight off, literally a foot away from my gaff, was the biggest conger I think I've ever caught. Wasn't a blonde ray, it was a massive conger. Oh, definitely give me a buzz. Like I say, just persistence. I could have easily pulled and pulled and pulled and snapped that out. But it's one of them, you know. If I was with someone, that would be up on the beach by now. Right, that's the end of today's session. I say just had the last baits out now, and they've started coming in. Not bad sized pout, to be honest. say I've had sort of 3 or 4 of them on the trot now, and we've just come over high tide, but I'm going to get myself home. You could really fish for another sort of 2 hours or so, but it's getting a little bit late. I say, beautiful evening now. Shame to go on home with the winds completely died off. Lovely evening, but yeah, it's very, very eerie down here. It's not very often that you come to Chesil Beach and you are the only person you can see on the beach. Doesn't seem to be anyone else here until, well, probably about 2 miles that way. You can see a tiny little headlight on the beach. But yeah, it's been a good session. I say, come down here to get a blonde. We managed to get one. Lost that conger reel. That was a real shame. Would have liked to have got that on camera. Like I say, you heard me when I pulled into it. I'll probably put the clip in, you know, before I had a little chat. I don't know what you saw of it. I don't know if you could see the rod or anything, but my rod was just folded in half. Stripping line. Brilliant fight. I did think, to be honest, it was a big blonde, but it's just one of them. Right, well, I'm just going to wind in the other rod. If there's anything on there, I'll bring you back. But other than that, just like to say a massive thank you to everyone that's subscribed. We're very, very close to our goal now of 1,000 subscribers. So we appreciate it if you like the videos. Hit the subscribe button, drop a comment. Don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Until the next time, take care.